Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon, dear students. So here we are going to start with another drama, that is The Rising of the Moon. So we'll see what exactly there in it, and the whole introduction and explanation part we'll see in this lecture. So here, as you can see, there is a drama the introduction section is there. Lady Gregory Isabella Augusta Percy was born in County Galway, Ireland, one of the moving spirits behind the establishment of the Abbey Theatre in Dublin. She was a playwright of great technical skill at the instance of her friend and sponsor William Butler Yeats, who encouraged her to study the old history and folklore of Ireland. Lady Gregory was specially mastered the one-act form of her 31 act plays. Spreading the News and The Rising of the Moon are the best known. So basically what we came to know here is basically this drama is written by Lady Gregory, and she was born in the Galway, that is in Ireland. So she had done master in the one act play specially, and from her 31 plays, there are some of the famous ones like Spreading the News, and even this one, The Rising of the Moon, is one of the very famous drama written by her. The Rising of the Moon reveals both great charm and skill of dramatic imagination and closely observed Irish character. The play's charm mainly rests on the sustaining passion of the Irish nationalism. The title, which is taken from the ballad on the Sean O'Farrell, is a symbol of the Irish uprising against the British. Lady Gregory's careful study of the Irish character, her skillful delineation of the individual characters, of her perfect handling of the situation are responsible for this one act play's great charm and popularity. So basically now what she's saying here, basically whatever is there in the drama, the title The Rising of the Moon, basically the whole drama, she observed the things and the characters around her very with a great concentration and carefulness. So the whole charm is about that, about her observation that he did. And as we know, there were the even in the island there was the British colonies were there. So when basically the Britishers were ruling over there also. So it's about the whole scenario. Even we talk about the police or whoever, they were also under the Britishers only, right? So it's whole about the rebellions and everything, and when the Irish were trying to uprise against the Britishers. So it's the whole setting is about that. Okay, somewhere it reveals those topics also, these things also. Now here we start with the drama, The Rising of the Moon. So basically what the scene is, side of a quay in a seaport town, some post and chains, a large barrel, enter three policemen, moonlight. Basically it's representing the view, okay, like how exactly the night was, and there was a moonlight. There were three policemen who entered, and there were the barrel was there. The quay basically is the quay is basically the platform through which leads you basically towards the water. Okay, like as we know, the port areas basically that we discuss about. So the platform that leads you towards the ships, that's what the quay is all about. Okay, and there were some large barrels also. That's how the view. Okay, and surgeon, who is older than the others, crosses the stage to ride and looks down steps. The others put down a paste pot and unroll a bundle of placards. Placards are basically like the posters or something. Okay, so now here surgeon is basically he also comes under the police ones only, but he is on a higher rank basically as compared to the other policemen. Now so here is a policeman, and what he said. So basically what they were doing, and what exactly the thing as we discussed, they were near to the port, and they were carrying some of the posters in their hands, the placards in their hands, and to stick that over there they were having some paste or something like that. Now I think this would be a good place to put up a notice. He points to the barrel. As we discussed, there was a barrel also near to the quay. So one of the policemen pointed that this would be the perfect place to paste this placard. What policeman X said, better ask him, calls to the surgeon. Will this be a good place for a placard? Now, the policeman X, what he said, it's better you ask from the surgeon. So, and then he called towards him and he asked him that will it be the better place to paste these placard? Now, policeman B, what he said, will we put a notice here on the barrel? No answer. So basically they were repeatedly asking the question and there was no answer from the surgeon's side. So now finally what he said, there is a flight of steps here that leads to the water. This is a place that should be minded well. He got down here, his friends might have a boat meet him, they might send it in here from outside. So now basically the surgeon wasn't focused towards the other policemen what they were asking continuously, but he was concentrating somewhere else. As we discussed, there were the steps that was leading or the platform that was leading towards the ships or to the water. So he was focusing on that and what he was thinking that yeah, here is the place his friends can come through the water and on the ship and they can go from this way, this will be the easiest way to escape and all these things. He was talking about something else only. Now policeman B, what he said, would the barrel be a good place to put a notice? So now again he asked, and what surgeon said, it might, you can put it there. They paste the notice up. And then he pointed his finger and what he said, yeah, you can paste it there. Then what surgeon said later, reading it. Now the placard that they came here to paste basically. So what was written on that or what it was telling, the whole placard, the whole poster, that's what he's reading. Dark hair, dark eyes, smooth face, height 5 feet 5. There is not much to take hold of in that. It's a pity I had no chance of seeing him before he broke out of jail. They say he's a wonder. That he makes all the plans for the whole organization. There isn't another man in Ireland would have broken jail the way he did. He must have some friends among the jailers. Now, basically he was reading the placard. What was written written on that? So basically there was a description of a person. That how a person looks. So there was basically description that yeah, he has dark hair, dark eyes and like smooth face and the height is 5 feet 5. So and then he was still confused, the surgeon. There is nothing more about the person, how anyone can identify him like this. And he was wishing, I wish I could get the opportunity to see him before breaking out of the jail. I wish I could get an opportunity to see him previously, and as I heard about him, so I came to know that that he must be kind of very expert in that. The way he broke the jail, people are talking that no one have broken the jail the way he did. So with all these things, that on the conclusion that I came, it feels like he must be having some friends in the jailers also. That's why he did the things very smoothly. £100 is little enough for the government to offer for him. You may be sure any man in the force that takes him will get promotion. Now basically they were talking about there were £100 for the for that finding that men that basically the of whom he was giving the description. So there was £100 on that. So basically till now what we came to know, they are in search of a man who have broke the jail, okay, and is wandering somewhere, and whoever will catch him or will hand over to the police, they will get the amount of £100. And now as the police is talking that there will be also a promotion if we get to see him or find him. £100 is little enough for the government. Now, surgeon, what he said, I'll mind this place myself. I wouldn't wonder at all if he came this way. He might come slipping along there, points to the side of a quay, and his friends might be waiting for him there, points down steps. And once he got away, it's little chance we would have of finding him. It's maybe under a load of kelp. He would be in a fishing boat, and not want to help a married man that wants it to the reward. Now what he's saying, this place where they were standing, what he said, that I will alone mind this place, I will manage it. So it will not be that difficult. And what he said, if he comes here, so he will definitely go through the water side, and his friends will be they might be waiting for him. And then he was pointing towards the steps basically, which was leading towards the water. And then what he said, if once he escaped from here, then there will be no chance of catching him, or to arrest him or to find him. So it's better to mind this place in a proper way. And if we get him itself, nothing but abuse on our heads for it from the people, and maybe from our own relations. So now what policeman X said, even if we find him, even if we get him, then too we will not get anything except abuse from people, and even maybe from our relatives also we will just get abused or something like that. Well, we have to do our duty in the force. Haven't we the whole country depending on us to keep law and order? It's those that are down would be up, and those that are up would be down if it wasn't for us. Well, hurry on, you have plenty of other places to placard yet, and come back here then to me. You can take the lantern, don't be too long now, it's very lonesome here with nothing but the moon. Now the surgeon, what he said, okay fine, but as we are in the force, so it's our duty to manage the things, to manage the law and order. Don't you think the people depends on us for their safety? So it's our duty to maintain this law and order. So, and then what he said, okay fine, you leave from here as soon as possible, and then take this lantern also with you, and whatever the remaining placards are there, just go and paste it to some other places also. And then as soon as you are done, just try to come fast, so that, because as you can see, it's very lonesome here. I am all alone here, and there is nothing to see, or there is nothing or no one here around me, and there's only the moonlight or the moon. That's what he said. Now, policeman B, it's a pity we can't stop with you. The government should have brought more police into the town with him in jail and at assize time too. Well, good luck to your watch. Now, the policeman X, B, what he said, as it's a risky task, or kind of, finding a person or a criminal maybe who broke the jail and, wandering somewhere, and we are here to catch him, to find him, and we are only 3 people. So don't you think that the government should have allowed or allocated more people over here, so that it will be the easier task to find him? Walks up and down once or twice and looks at the placard. So 100 pounds and promotion sure. There must be a great deal of spending in 100 pounds. It's a pity some honest man not to be the better of that. And then what the surgeon said, basically he was walking up and down continuously and looking at the placard, and he said, 100 pounds are more than enough, and we can buy lots of stuff in that, and for sure we will also get the promotion, and that's a great deal, if we get it. And then a ragged man appears at left and tries to slip past. Surgeon suddenly turns, and then all of a sudden they went away, all of them went away, and then finally he was all alone here, the surgeon. And as he was walking and reading the placards, he saw that one of the person came in a very not that clear or the good clothes. It was some of the ragged clothes that he came in. And then the surgeon all of a sudden turned towards that person. Where are you going? I'm a poor ballad singer, Your Honor, and I thought to sell some of these, holds out bundle of ballads to the sailors, he goes on. So basically that man, the stranger man all of a sudden who came, he was going towards basically the, trying to go through that quay, or going towards the water side. So he stopped him and he asked, where are you going? So what he said, I am a ballad singer, basically a poor ballad singer. So here I came to sell some of my ballads to the sailors. And he was continuously walking or moving towards the water side. Stop, didn't I tell you to stop? You can't go on there. Now he stopped him and he asked, didn't you hear what I said? I asked you to stop, so don't go there. Oh, very well. It's a hard thing to be poor. All the world's against the poor. Like, in a very emotional way, what he said, the man who came just now, what he said, yeah, it's a kind of tragedy, or like, it's a kind of a pity that every time the poor man has to suffer. So it's just because of that only you are stopping me, I guess. So the surgeon, what he said, who are you? Then the man replied, you would be as wise as myself if I told you, but I don't mind. I am on Jimmy Walsh, a ballad singer. So basically the surgeon asked about him, that who are you? So what he said, I don't feel like you must be knowing about me, or I don't think you will mind who I am, but still I am a Jimmy Walsh. I am a ballad singer. The surgeon asked, Jimmy Walsh, I don't know the name. So he said, that name I have not heard. Sure, they know it well enough in Ennis. Were you ever in Ennis, surgeon? So what he said, in Ennis, people knows me and people knows this name, Jimmy Walsh. Have you ever been to Ennis? That's what he asked from to the surgeon. What brought you here? Sure, it's to the assizes I came, thinking I might make a few shillings here or there. It's in the one train with the judges I came. Now, the surgeon asked that man that what brought you here, or like what's the purpose of coming here, or something like that he asked. So what the man replied, that I came by thinking, like I'll be able to sell some of my ballads to the sailors or to anyone, so that I came to make some money, basically. Surgeon, well, if you came so far, you may as well go further, for you will walk out of this. Now what he said, as you came so far, so now you cannot go further. You have to go back from where you have come. I will. I'll just go on where I was going. Goes towards steps. So what he said, yeah, I'll go from where I have come. And again he tried to move towards the steps. Basically the steps which leads towards the water and the ships. Come back from those steps. No one has leave to pass down them tonight. The surgeon again stopped him, and then what he said, he again said, like no one is allowed to move that side or to go that side, so you come back, don't go that side. The man, I'll just sit on the top of the steps till I see will some sailor buy a ballad of me that would give me my supper. They do be late going back to the ship. It's often I saw them in Cork carry down the quay in handcart. So now what he said, yeah, I'll just stop on our steps just for a while until the sailors comes, because I've seen them many times coming late for and doing the things. So they might come and buy the ballads from me. So I'll just wait for them. Maybe it will make some money for my supper. So I'm just waiting for them. Move on, I tell you. I won't have anyone lingering about the quay tonight. So what the surgeon said, no, move from here, because I don't want anyone to move around here and to be here especially tonight. Man, well, I'll go. It's a poor have the hard life. Maybe yourself might like one. Surgeon, here's a good sheet now. Turns one over, content and a pipe. That's not much. The peeler and the goat. You wouldn't like that. Johnny Hart, that's a lovely song. Now, as he was asking him to move back and to go back, so what he said, yeah, well, I'll go, as the poors have to face the tough life, or the rough life basically, and the hard life. So maybe I am just one of them, and maybe you are also one of those people only, the poor people who has to suffer. And then he, as he was holding the bundle of ballad songs, so he started showing those papers and the songs to him, the contents that he has written. So one that he shown him was the content and a pipe, and the another that he shown, okay, that will not be much for you. So he shown the other one that was titled as the peeler and the goat. And then later he shown the another one, and what he said, I think you will not like it, so I'll show you somewhere something else. And then he shown the Johnny Hart, and then that's a lovely song that he said. So basically he was showing his own collections of songs, or the ballads that he has written. Move on. Oh, wait till you hear it, sings. So the sergeant asked him to move, and what the man said, okay, wait till you hear. And he started singing. And what he started singing, there was a rich farmer's daughter lived near the town of Ross. She courted a Highland soldier. His name was Johnny Hart. Says the mother to her daughter, I'll go distracted mad if you marry that Highland soldier dressed up in Highland plaid. That's what he was singing, that man. Okay, these are the basically the lyrics of that ballad that he was singing. Then the sergeant stopped the noise, and what he asked, that stop that noise. That's what the sergeant asked from the men. Now the sergeant man wraps up his ballads and shuffles towards the steps. Where are you going? And then again, what he did, he shuffled his the papers or the ballads that he was singing, and then he again tried to move towards the steps. And then again the sergeant asked, where are you going? So what he said, sure, you told me to be going, and I'm going. So what the man said, so you asked me to go, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going only. So what the sergeant said, don't be a fool. I didn't tell you to go that way. I told you to go back to the town. So what the sergeant said, you are trying to be fool or something, but I did not ask you to move towards the steps or towards the water. I asked you to go back to the town, and you are not doing that what I asked you to do. Back to the town, is it? Now the man asked, you want me to back to the town, is it? Now the sergeant replied, taking him by the shoulder and showing him before him, here I'll show you the way, be off with you, what are you stopping for? Now the sergeant said, I think you don't want to move, but I'll show you the way where you have to go or where you are supposed to be. And then he tried to lead him towards the town. Now the man, who has been keeping his eye on the notice, points to it. I think I know what you are waiting for, sergeant. Now the man, all of a sudden, he was noticing towards the notice that which was there on the placard. So what he said, that man, to the sergeant, I think I know what you are waiting for, And sergeant said, what's that to you? So he asked, how do you know, or what do you know about it, or what exactly is it that he had asked? And I know well the man you're waiting for. I know him well. I'll be going. He shuffles on. And he hurried a bit. Who? The man. He said, I know for whom you are waiting. The person for whom you are waiting, I know him. And I know him really well. And what he said, now I'll be going. I will not like to wait here. And then he shuffled on. Sergeant, you know him. Come back here. What sort is he? And then he asked, that sergeant, he called him back and he asked, you know him? So, which kind of a person he is? That's what he asked. The man, come back, is it, sergeant? Do you want to have me killed? So now that man said, what? You want me to come back? That means you want me to be killed and to be murdered by that person. Why do you say that? Never mind, I'm going. I would have be in your shoes if the reward was 10 times as much. Goes on off stage to left, not if it was 10 times as much. Now what he said, the sergeant asked, why did you say that? Whatever the statement that he made. Now the man said, don't mind, I'm going. And I will not be here, and I will not be even in your shoes, even if the reward is 10 times more than this, whatever it is. It's better I leave from here. Now the sergeant, rushing after him, come back here, come back, drags him back. What sort is he? Where did you see him? Now basically he repeatedly, kept questioning that. First, he rushed towards the man as he was trying to go back to the town. So the sergeant rushed towards him, and he repeatedly asking question that come back here, and what do you know about him, which kind of a person he is, and how did you see him, where did you see him, all these kind of questions he repeatedly was asking. I saw him in my own place in the country, Claire. I tell you, you wouldn't like to be looking at him. You would be afraid to be in the in the one place with him. There isn't a weapon he doesn't know the use of. And as to strength, his muscles are as hard as the board slab's barrel. And like what he said, at my very own place only I saw him, and in the country Clare basically. And I'm telling you, you will not like to be with him, or you will not like to look at him the way he looks. You will be afraid if you will be there at a one place with him. And there is not even a single weapon which he can't use. He knows the use of all the single weapons that you talk about, and his strength you can't even think of. And the muscles of it's like so hard. And he, while talking that, he slapped on a barrel, and just to talk about the muscles, that how hard muscles that he had, so he slapped on a barrel. Is he as bad as that? He is then. So the sergeant asked, is he that bad the way you're talking? And what he said, yes, he is. Do you tell me so? There was a poor man in our place, a sergeant from Bellywangam, Wangan. It was with a lump of stone he did it. Now what he said, so do you tell me something more about him? So what he said, once at our place, in a surgeon, that one of the surgeon was there. So with a stone, he hit it or something like that, and he killed him. He attacked on him with that stone, and his life was finished. I never heard of that. The sergeant said, I never heard about that things, whatever you are telling. And you wouldn't, sergeant. It's not everything that happens gets into the papers. So what he said, the man, and you will never even get to hear these, because everything that happens in the world, it's not necessary that it will be there in the newspapers. And there was a policeman in plain clothes too, and even he murdered, or he did something even with that one of the policemen who was in the plain clothes. It is in Limerick. It was after the time of the attack on the police barrack at Kilmallock, moonlight, just like this, waterside, nothing was known for certain. So what he said, he also murdered that in the Limerick. And then after that, on the policeman that he attacked who was in the barrack basically. And then after, and it was a complete moonlight, just like this, the way it is right now, when he killed that person. And then it was waterside, and nothing was known for certain. So the sergeant, do you say so? It's a terrible country to belong to. So you want to say it's a terrible country to belong to basically. That's so indeed. You might be standing there looking out that way, thinking you saw him coming up this side of the quay, and he might be coming up with this other side, and he would be on you before he knew where you were. So yeah, indeed. And as you are standing here and looking out that way, so it might possible the way you are looking, or the place where you are looking, he might not come from that way. He might come from the another way where you are not looking at, and he will just go away, and you won't be able to notice. Or all of a sudden he comes in front of you and standing before you, you might not notice that. It's a whole troop of police they ought to put here to stop a man like that. So what the surgeon said basically, but I guess the way you are describing about that person, I guess the government supposed to keep the whole troop of a police over here. But if you would like me to stop with you, I could be looking down this side. I could be sitting up here on this barrel. So what he said, okay fine, but if you want me to be with you, I can be with you, and I can sit with you. So on this barrel, I can be here with you. And you know him well too. So the surgeon asked, so you know him well too? Okay. The man, what he asked, I would know him a mile off, sergeant. But you wouldn't want to share the reward. So what he said, I will not be not like to be near to him, and I would like to be far away from him, because I would not like to be near to him. So what he said, I would, but you wouldn't want the person, or to share the reward basically. So the man, what he said, is it a poor man like me that has to be going to the roads and singing in fairs to have the name on him that he took a reward? But you don't want me. I'll be safer in the town. So now what he says, like, you know what, I am not interested in any kind of the, rewards or something like that. I'll be safer in my town singing all over here and there. So, well, you can stop. Then, as he refused from sharing the reward basically, so what the surgeon said, oh, okay, fine, you can stop here. The man getting up on a barrel, all right, surgeon, I wonder now you are not tired out. Surgeon walking up and down the way you are. Now the the man, he went up on the barrel and sat over there, and then what he said, I wonder now you are like, tired out basically. And he was continuously, walking here and there. If I'm tired, I'm used to it. So the surgeon said, okay, even if I'm tired, so I'm used to it, I always do the same thing. You might have hard work before you tonight, yet take it easy while you can. There's plenty of room up here on the barrel, and you see further when you are higher up. So basically, the man, he was insisting him to come up on the barrel and sit next to him. And what he said, there is enough space to sit because you must be tired. You must have had some other works also before this also. So you can come up here and sit on the barrel. And as you will be on the upper position, so you can see the things even more clearly. Maybe so gets up beside him on barrel, facing right. They sit back to back, looking different ways. You made me feel a bit queer with the way you talked. And the surgeon, what he said, yeah, maybe. And then he got up and sat on the barrel opposite, facing opposite to him. And like, they both were looking on the opposite directions. And what he said, you made me very queer at the way you talked about that person. Give me a match, surgeon. He gives it, and man lights pipe. Take a draw yourself. It will quiet you. Wait now till I give you a light, but you need not to turn round. Don't take your eyes off the quay for the life of you. So what he said, he asked for the matchbox basically to light the pipe, and then while lighting the pipe, what he said, don't turn. Even for a while, if you turn, he might come from there, and you won't notice him. So later, never fear, I won't. Lights pipe, they both smoke. Indeed, it's a hard thing to be in the force out at night, and no thanks for all the danger we are in. And it's little we get but abuse from the people, and no choice but to obey our orders. I never asked when a man is sent into danger if you are a married man with a family. And then what the surgeon said, never fear, I won't. And then what he said, he light the pipe, and later what he said, indeed it's a little thing, it's a hard thing, to be in the force, because you have to be out at any time of the even of the night, and the people doesn't even thank you for the things what you do. Even instead of thanking you, people abuse you, and even before giving you some work or like putting you in danger, people doesn't even ask you that if you are a married man with a family or what. And then the man sings, as through the hills I walked to view the hills and Shamrock plain. I stood a while where nature smiles to view the rocks and streams. On a matron fair, I fixed my eyes beneath a fertile vale. As she sang her song, it was on wrong of poor old Grenouille. So basically, he was, these lyrics that he was singing. Surgeon, stop that. That's no song to be singing in these times. So now what surgeon said, stop singing. It's not the time to sing these kinds of songs here. So I hope you must have understood till now. So the remaining story or the remaining part of the drama, we will continue.